In this video, we are going to do problems solved by quadratic equations. You will find this on page 152 in the Namibian Ordinary Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Problems solved by quadratic equations. Practical problems can often be expressed in terms of quadratic equations. We can use the technique of solving quadratic equations to solve many practical problems. It is important to realize that the solution of the equation might not all give reasonable answers. So the answer must be checked, or the answers must be checked. Let's look at an example. The area of a rectangle is 45 centimeters square, and one of its sides is 4 centimeters longer than the other side. Find the width of the rectangle. Now, what I usually tell learners, the one that they refer to, make that one x. So if they say 4 centimeters longer than the other side, so they refer to the other side. So make that one x. Okay, so the other side, okay, this is x, then this one will be 4 centimeters, so it will be x plus 4. Okay, if it's shorter, then it's x minus 4. So then I just start. And then, also very important, the area of a rectangle. So write down the formula for the area of a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is length times breadth. So just substitute. This is now going to be your length. This is going to be your breadth. And then just multiply it out. Take it over to one side. Put that bracket equal to 0 or this bracket equal to 0. So x is equal to -9 or x is equal to 5. So first find the width. So first find the solution of this quadratic equation. But now, since distance must be a positive value, x cannot be -9. You cannot say this is -9 centimeters. So you reject that. But first leave that as your answers, because sometimes they will ask this as A, and then they will just say solve, and then this as B. So don't reject it already there. Reject it in almost the second phase. So therefore x is 5 and the width, okay, what's the question? Find the width, and the width of the rectangle is 5 centimeters. Okay, I want you to stop the video and I want you to try number 1. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Now the area of a rectangle, okay, again, let's just highlight this. Area of a rectangle is this. One of its sides is 4 centimeters shorter than the other side. So they refer to the other side. Find the width. Now in this case, so let's just start. This is number 1. Now always, if they talk about a rectangle, just make a picture of a rectangle. There's your rectangle. Now they say one of the sides is shorter. So in this case, they refer to the other side. But because this one is shorter, I will take the longer, in this case, as x. And the shorter one is 4 centimeters shorter. Okay, and then I can even write here, how do I find the area of a rectangle? Length times breadth. Now I just fill in everything. So start, area equals length times breadth. They give you the area, and that is 21. Just substitute. They give you the length, that's x. They give you the breadth, x minus 4. So this is 21. This is going to be x squared minus 4x. Take everything to one side. Okay. Now, usually this will, it's not always, otherwise you can use the formula, but let's see if it can factorize. Now, can you still remember what I teach? This is in group B. So I must take this value, and I break it up into factor pairs. So let's try 7 and 3. 7, subtract 3 will give me that 4. And the signs, what will the signs be? Different. And the biggest overcross will give this sign. So what will this sign be? Positive. What will this be? X, x. So then this is going to be x minus 7, x plus 3. So let's just solve this. So therefore, x, if it goes over, is 7, or x is negative 3. And now you can say, therefore, just like that, they ask you the width. So what will be the width? The width in this case will be the x minus 4. So if I'm going to look at the width there, so it's going to be x minus 4. You can even substitute it first here. So this is 7 minus 4, which is 3. So therefore, the width is, you can say, x minus 4, which is equal to 7 minus 4, which is equal to 3. And if this will be centimeters. Okay, and that's how we do it. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, let's look at this example again. In a right angle triangle, one side is 2 centimeters shorter than the hypotenuse, and the other side is 3 centimeters shorter than the hypotenuse. Find the length of the hypotenuse. Now, can you still remember? The hypotenuse is the one over the 90-degree angle. Okay, so every time, and I want to show you again, they refer than the hypotenuse. Usually they say than the, then they refer to that one, hypotenuse, whatever follow, than the hypotenuse. So make then the hypotenuse, make that x. So make a right triangle and make this x. And then one side is 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters shorter, 3 centimeters shorter. So 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters shorter. Okay, so the hypotenuse is 2, there I complete my picture. And then find the length of the hypotenuse. Now, what did they use here? They used Pythagoras Theorem. And if you cannot remember it from junior secondary, you can go in this textbook to page 438 to 439, but it's a little bit in front. Okay. And I think that this will be in book 2, not in book 1. So then Pythagoras, so it's saying this hypotenuse square is equal to this square plus this square. Then I just multiply out. Just remember, it's not x squared minus 9. There's 3 terms. Okay, and there's your 3 terms. Do you see that? So it's going to be x squared. And then the middle term I get by, say, x times negative 3 is negative 3x times 2 is negative 6x plus 9. And the same do with that one. Okay. Then everything to one side, everything. And then, oh, you don't want to factorize. If you cannot factorize, I just use the formula. You can use completing the square also, but I think the formula, especially if you memorized it, it's easier. So there are 2 answers. Do not reject one of the answers in this step. Leave the answers. Now, in the next step, since distance must be a positive value, x minus, why will this one? You say, oh, but it's not negative. But look, if you substitute it in there, if you're going to say 1 point, let's just get the pen correct, 1.54, and you subtract the 3, you're going to get a negative. If you say 1.54, subtract the 2, then you're going to get a negative. Okay, so don't do that. So in this case, this one is rejected, and I just work with the other one. What is the other one? It's this one. And then what is the question? Find the length of the hypotenuse. But it's just x, so therefore this is the length of the hypotenuse. Okay. I think I'm going to, because I gave you a picture there, and I know that this one is more or less the same as the example. So it will be good. You saw the example. So stop the video and do try now 36. Do number 2. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay, I'm going to read for you. Let's start. In a right angle triangle, one side is 1 shorter than the hypotenuse. Oh, I want again. Do you see to who they refer? The hypotenuse. And shorter than the hypotenuse. So they refer the whole time to the hypotenuse. Okay, so find the length of the 3 sides. So start, this is number 2, by first drawing a right angle triangle. And now I fall in. Now they refer to the hypotenuse every time, so let's just make this x. So there's your 90 over the 90, that's the hypotenuse. So one side is 1 shorter than the hypotenuse. So this will be x minus 1. And the other is 2 shorter than the hypotenuse, x minus 2. Okay, so basically find the length of the three sides. So if I'm going to do this, now I'm just going to use Pythagoras Theorem. Okay, just like that. So basically, I'm going to say, let's start, I'm going to say x squared is equal to x minus 2 squared plus x minus 1 squared. So that will give me x, okay, x squared equals, I want to do the short method, but I'll show you also the long method. So this is x squared, then you multiply the 2 with each other and you multiply it by 2. So this is negative 2x times 2, it's negative 4x. And negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Plus, be careful, if that was a negative, you have to keep it first in brackets, but it's a positive. So again, x squared, multiply the 2 with each other, negative x times 2, negative 2x plus 1. I just want to show you, you can also do it on the side by the long method, by saying, okay, I multiply, I multiply, I multiply, I multiply. So that will be, let's just get, that will be x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 4, which is also going to give me that x squared minus 4x plus 4, which is there. Okay, so that was just to show you. I'm just going to clean. You can do the same with that one, but I don't want you to get too much confused by the side writing. So let's just clean it. Okay, now it's quadratic. You have to take everything to one side. So if you take everything to one side, then you're going to get 0. Okay, take this one first over. Okay, you can already simplify here, but I think I'm just going to rewrite and then do the simplify. Okay, then I go for my like terms. Like, no, wait. That was also straight. This was like this, this was like this. So if I simplify it, 0 equals, do you see that 2 cancel, but there's still 1. So negative 4, negative 2, that will be negative 6x. And 4 plus 1, that will be 5. Okay, now I can check if you can simplify. Can you see? It's in group B. So let's just try quickly. 5 and 1, 1 and 1. 5 plus 1, oh, that will be 6. The signs will be the same and both will be this sign, negative, x. So basically, this will be x minus 5, x minus 1. So x minus 5 equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. So therefore, x is equal to 5 or x is equal to 1. Okay, so but now don't stop. Find the lengths of the three sides. Now if you substitute 1 there, 1 minus 1 is 0, then the side is not going to exist. So now I can go and say, okay, let's just end nice. X equals 1. Because it will give you, so therefore I can say, what is the question? Find, let's just move it up a little bit so that we can see. Find the length of the three sides. So the three sides. Now don't forget that the three sides is x minus 1, x minus 2. And that will be then 5, and it's in what? Centimeters. So let's call it side 1, side 2, side 3. and this will be 5 minus 1, 4 centimeters, and this will be 5 minus 3 centimeters. Okay, and that will be the free sides. Let's just move on. Okay, the next one, we're going to skip there. We're going to look at the example. Leemarie walks 10 kilometers to a waterfall at an average speed of x kilometers per hour. Write down in terms of x the time taken in hours. Okay, so if you look here, so don't forget this, DSTV. Okay, people like DSTV. Okay, so if I want time, it's distance divided by speed. So the distance is 10 and the speed is x. Okay, there it is. Leemarie returns from the waterfall, but this time she walks 10 kilometers at an average speed of this. So the time of the, okay, so first get the time of her return. So it's 10 divided by x plus 1. The time of the journey is 30 minutes less than the time of the first journey. Write an equation and x and show that it's simplified. Now, the longer time minus the shorter time will be half an hour. Remember, this was, I want to show you here, this was all in kilometers per hour, and this is in minutes. So you have to take that minutes to hours, and then you divide by 60 and you get 0.5 hours. Okay, so that's half an hour. So now the longer, you will take the longer time, which is this one, you subtract the shorter time, so she walked faster back, and that will be a half. And now you're just going to, it's just algebraic fraction. So just, it's actually an algebraic fraction equation, because, so multiply by the LCM, cancel out, and then you just get there and you factorize, and now you get two values. One is 4 and one is negative 5. But again, since speed must be positive, you reject the negative 5. So therefore x is 4, and what is to find the time? To the waterfall. So it's 10 divided by x, that was to the waterfall. So 10 divided by 4, and that's 2.5 hours. Okay, the next one. Okay, I would like to keep to a speed one, so you can stop the video and you do number 1. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Let's start. David runs a race at the average speed of x kilometers per hour. Okay, so let's start. Okay, now let's just, before we do that, so speed is x meters per second. His time is 3x minus 9 seconds. And the race distance is 2x squared minus 8. Write an equation and show that it simplifies to this. Now, don't ever forget, just make quickly, just that you don't make a mistake, distance, speed, and time. Now, always try to avoid fractions, because it's easy then to make mistakes. So if you're going to say distance, we're going to avoid the fraction, because it's speed multiplied time. So if I'm going to say here distance will speed multiplied time, so I just substitute. So this will be 2x squared minus 8, and the speed will be x, and the time, put in brackets, 3x minus 9. Okay, now I'm just going to simplify it. So I get 2x squared minus 8 equals 3x squared minus 9x. So that will be, oh, let's just go back. 2x squared. Now, let's take it to the other side, because I don't want to end up with a negative. Okay, so let's put 0 here. And I'm going to have 3x squared minus 9x minus 2x squared plus 8. So that is going to be x squared minus 9x plus 8. Okay, now I can try, that was question 1, right? This is exactly what I got there. Then question B. Solve this. Okay, very important. Just solve. It's just algebra. Don't reject any answer. So in this case, I start with the equation. I see it's in group A. So let's see if we can factorize. 8 and 1, 1 and 1. There's a 1. So 8 plus 1, oh, it's 9. The signs must be the same, and both must be this sign, negative. X, X. So I will get x minus 8, x minus 1. So x minus 8 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. So x equals 8, x equals 1. Okay, so don't reject any answer. And now I start with C. Write down David's time and the race distance. Now, if you look at this, let's just see, if you have 8 there, that will work. But if you have that 1, if you substitute it there, then it's 3, 1. So it's 3 minus 9, negative 6. It cannot be. So, I want to just move it up and see if the pen still works. Now, let's just clean it first. I reject it, and I'm just going to tell you why, because the pen struggle, because it will give me a negative time. That will not work. So therefore, I must take x is equal to 8. But I want two things. We'll write down, I moved it too much up, so I just have to go down. The time and the distance. So the time is 3x minus 9, so it's 3, 8 minus 9, and if I work out that, I'm going to get 15, 24 minus 9, 15 seconds. And then the other one is the distance, and that's going to be 2x squared minus 8. So it's 2x squared. So let's just see if I'm going to substitute 8 squared minus 8. And that is going to give me an answer of 120 meters. Okay, and that's how you do it.